Okay, it's time for some basics with office.live.com. Basic Excel stuff here. Alright, office.live.com. Now, I'm already logged in, but if you're prompted to log in, just use your Hotmail account. You probably already have one, even if you don't use it. And you can log into office.live.com. This is completely free. If for whatever reason you do not have a Windows Live account or a Hotmail account, it will prompt you to create one, which only takes a couple of minutes. But I'm going on the assumption you have one because who doesn't, right? Anyway, from here, you can do Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or OneNote. Just a few notes on Word before continuing. Word web app, I really don't think is that great. And the only reason is because, well, it depends on your situation. If you're running Windows XP, Word web app is better, excuse me, than XP WordPad, that's for sure. But if you're running Windows Vista or Windows 7, WordPad for those Windows operating systems is actually better than Word web app. So if you're in XP, Word web app is better. If you're in Vista or 7, the bundled WordPad with those OSs are better. Okay, let's dive into Excel. I'm just going to leave the standard name here as book1.xlsx. And let's go for it. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some columns and then use a basic sum function and set some colors and set some fonts. So let me just stretch out these columns first. Now it does pause a bit when you do this, but you got to bear in mind this is completely in the browser. And for being completely in the browser, it's actually pretty speedy. Okay, here we go. Column 1, column 2, column 3, and total. Right. And now I'm going to put some values here. So for column 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Column 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And column 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. One of the things I noticed when I first started using Excel web app is where's the sum function button, which to most of you probably called the little e. Well, it's not an e, I believe it's a Greek symbol, but that's a sum function. Well, it's not here, but you can get to it by using the equals function. Now what you can do in Excel web app, if you want to get to a function, just click on a cell where you want the function to occur, type equals, and then the first letter of the function you want. Now sum starts with an S, so S. See this menu pop up? And you can just scroll down to sum, or you can just type SUM and it will jump right to it. To enable the function, double click on the function in the list. Now it's waiting for a value, so I want to add here to here. So I will single left click on A2 and then hold shift and click the last one here, which is A6. So now it's going to say sum is of A2 through A6, and I press enter. And it works. And if I click on it, it shows what the formula is right here. So I'm going to do that for the rest of them. Equals sum, double click. There we go. And last one equals sum, double click, column, shift, click, enter. So there we go. I have my values here. And for the total, I'll do a horizontal range. So equals sum, double click, here, hold shift to here, enter. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font because it uses Calibri by default. I'm going to change this over to Arial because that's kind of the old school Excel look. So what I can do now, I can't click over here and have it select everything, which is unfortunate. So, but what I can do is click here on A1 and then just go to the last column, hold shift, click, and I have all this highlighted. Change the font to Arial, font size 10 point. All right. Now for the column, I'm just going to click the first one, hold Shift, and do A1, B1, C1, and D1, and change these to bold. Now I can do this in two ways. I can click the B, or I can use the keystroke Control B, just like you would if you were using Excel, the application. Now I'm going to change some colors here, so I'm going to change, I'll just do the whole thing. The paint bucket is the fill color, and the font color is the one with the A on it, so I'll do this. I like the fact that they have gradient ranges here. It's really easy, which is good. So I'll do this one first, and do the rest. Now, my only real complaint about this, and I believe it's a valid complaint, when I color them in, I don't see grid lines in the colored section, which I don't like. But trade-off of using the web interface. And then what I'll do is I'll make these columns just slightly darker. So I'll take this one slightly darker, slightly darker, two more to go. This one, and is that green, right? Yeah. And I'll change the font color of the last value down here. So this one I'll go to the little a, change that to a darker green, and bold and italic. There we go. Now the next thing I noticed here is that there's no save button. Now the way at the bottom right here it says one person editing, which is me obviously, but I didn't find a save function there. It wasn't until I realized that the way Excel web app works is that it dynamically saves as you're working on it. So you don't have to hit the save button, especially considering it's not here. All you have to do is just exit. So I can go to File, Close. Now, save as, all that means is saving the current file as a different name. So that's not, you only do this if you want to make a copy, not save what you're working on. All you have to do is just close. Or you can go to the way at the top right here and hit the little X. And it doesn't prompt you to save, it just saves. It's a little weird, but that's the way it works. And then from here, I can just edit in browser again. And it is exactly how I left it. So it does work. It takes a little getting used to, and this is significantly watered down compared to the full version of Excel or Open Office Calc. It's not meant to be a replacement, but it's good to use in a pinch. The only thing you have to remember is that when it comes to functions, you have to remember to enter them in manually here. Now, one final note before I close this one out. Now I did equals S, which shows all the functions that begin with S. If you want a function that would say begin with D, D is in Delta, like date, just do equals and then the first letter, and then it'll show all the ones beginning with that letter. All the D's, if I do F, all the F's, if I do, like I showed before, all the S's, and so on and so forth. That is how you get to functions in Excel web app. They're not up here. They're not in the menu. Don't look for them here. You won't find them. It's a trade-off of the slimmed down web interface. Just remember equals and the first letter of the function you want to do, and you'll find it, and then you can do your stuff.